Hello YouTubers, you're watching Just Do It Yourself channel, and today we have 2010 Dodge Nitro and it has power steering fluid leak. So that after the inspection we were able to identify the leak, and it is coming just from this hose. So there is one hose and one behind. It's kind of the same hose, it just looped around and goes opposite way. And this is high pressure power steering hose. So the fluid should be red in color. It's ATF plus 4, the most common fluid that Chrysler uses. So if you have red leak at the front of your SUV, check those hoses. Most likely one of those are leaking. So let's get to the replacement of the hose. So to replace this hose, you need to disconnect it from the pump, and it's that connection over there. And then if you follow it down, it goes all the way, it kind of loops, it goes back to the rack and pinion, and not sure if you can see it, but it just over there, that hose on the left hand side, I think, if you look from the front. We'll disconnect it from the top first, and then we'll probably need to remove this bracket, one bracket just on top, and pull it out, and we'll see exactly where it goes on the rack and pinion. So there are quite a few hoses, and they going back and forth, so it's a little bit difficult to follow where it starts and where it ends. So before we go any further, start removing the connectors. I want to pump out as much fluid as I can so it's not dripping on us while we are under the car. So I'm using little electrical pump, transfer pump with the suction hose in a reservoir, and just pump it into a container. I will leave links in the description to the video to all the parts and tools you may need, but at this point I'll just pump everything that I can out of the reservoir. So as you can see, there wasn't much, and I'm pretty sure that the owner used wrong type of fluid, and this is not red, it's reddish, but majority is just regular power steering fluid. And that's not what's supposed to be here. We should use ATF. We'll need to do full fluid change in this car too. Alright, the reservoir is empty, so next what we will do, just at the bottom of the reservoir, closer to the firewall, there is a return hose. So we will disconnect that hose and we'll connect it to our pump. In that case we can pull all the fluid out. Alright, so the return hose is disconnected from the reservoir. You would get a little bit of fluid still coming out. Now we connected it to our pump and we will keep pumping. So that should pull all the fluid from the reservoir through the pump, through all the lines. There will be still in rack and pinion that we will deal later on. Alternatively, if you are not changing all the fluid, you can probably just cut the hose, the old hose, and let it drain over here. Also, if you do not have a pump, potentially you can just jack your car up, disconnect this hose, direct it to the oil pan, catch tray, and spin your wheels to the left and to the right a few times. Then in that case your rack and pinion will work like a positive displacement pump, so that will work too. Okay, so now we're just pumping the rest of the fluid out. So the pump has pumped out everything that was in the system. So as I mentioned, the rack and pinion is still full. So I have vehicle on a jack stands. So now we can go into the car turn on the pump and slowly spin the wheels to the right and to the left. And that's supposed to push all the fluid out of the rack and pinion. So right now I'll just turn on the pump and we'll get into the vehicle and we'll start spinning the wheel slowly to the left and to the right. You don't want to go too fast since it can create way too much pressure. So just slowly go to the left, and this is displacing fluid from one side of the piston in the rack and pinion. Now we go all the way to the right. So this method would supposed to work also without the pump. Suppose just push the fluid with the help of rack and pinion. Nothing to be aware of. Like if you're not running a pump and you have connected a hose or something, there will be quite a bit of pressure when you turn your wheels. So it's a good idea to have that connection clamped, as I've done. Okay, so we went all the way to the right, so now we will go one more time to the left. The majority of the fluid is supposed to be out. The second time you can go a bit quicker. All the way to the right now. Alright, we will center the wheel. Now just leave the pump running for a few more minutes just to get those extra droplets of fluid. So the return hose is connected back to the reservoir. Now I'll go ahead and remove 16 mil flare nut on a pump and 18 mil on the rack and pinion. So I got that flare nut loose, but this is so tight gap over here, so it's really painful on my hand. So I will remove 1, 2, 3 and 4 18 mil nuts, and we'll try to drop this sway bar down so I have more room to work with. So I was able to get all the nuts with the impact and the swivel, all the tools and parts in links to the description to the video. So right now we'll just try to prise this out. Hopefully it will move. If it does not, we need to disconnect it from the sway bar links over there. We'll do the same on the other side. So now when both brackets are removed, we'll just try to pull it down. All those studs are in the way and it hitting the lower control arm. So I think we'll just take the passive with resistance and remove this bottom. Maybe we won't. Must be quiet. I don't want to break this bolt. I guess we might need to. remove this knot over here. Need the wrench to hold it on the other side. Right, so now we will remove the connection on the labor link. We'll do the same on the other side. I'll just push this out, and at this point, this weight will drop. Actually, it's sitting not too bad like that, so it gives us enough room to play with the hose. So now all this space is for us, so that's much more better to work with. So the hose is disconnected from the pump, so now we need to remove two brackets. I'll try to show you where they are. So this is the one where my ratchet is. It's 8mm, and there's another one on the frame, also 8mm. So that should let the hose come out. The only piece that will stay would be that connection to the racking pinion. So here is the bolts from both brackets. They're not very easy to remove. So now all this gets loose, and goes from the top, come down. So now we kind of have a better understanding where our hose go. Back and pinion. We'll remove that for a knot. Back and pinion. I know that you probably cannot see much. I just take the phone. That's the one on the left. But before we do that, you want to take a brake clean and wire brush and clean it really well, so there's no mud, grease, and dust when we remove it. Okay, so now when it's all nice and clean, we will remove that flare knot, and as I said, that's 18mm. So the old hose and new hose is on a bench. The next thing that we will need to do is to transfer those brackets, one on the left hand side over here and the other one that holds two hoses together. So this one you need to unbend this tab over here, same with the other side. Get it off, put it here. This one might be a little bit more tricky, so same thing, need to straighten this tongue out, put in a new hose, flip it back. Okay, one interesting thing was this other clip, so you can just try it out and that piece will come off. Basically that's what it is, and it fits into this hole, clips in, so it wasn't that difficult to remove. So all the brackets are transferred. One thing to note, if we pay attention to the old hose, there are O-rings. This one is missing, so this might be still sitting in the pump. So we'll need to reach out with the pick and get that out. The new hose came with two new O-rings, so we'll place it on both ends. I will leave a link to the hose in the description to the video. Another thing that we transferred is this rubber piece. And there's one more that I just noticed on this side, so we'll transfer it too. Now we are ready to install the hose. The O-rings are installed. We'll do everything in reverse order. So we will install this piece on the rack and pinion first, while this we just taped in a bag. So while it's sitting over there, nothing gets inside. Usually the hoses come with this cap. Like every single hose cap comes with the same cap, and it usually doesn't fit anywhere unless you push really hard. But anyway, so you can just tape it. Keep this clean. So we will start with this, then we'll install the brackets and install this one. At the first run, nothing will be tight. We will just get it started, so it's still in the thread, but it still swivels as much as we need. And when everything is lined up and installed, we will tighten it. Okay, so let's take a quick look. So this wire nut is started. Both brackets are started too. Now we will remove the plastic from this end. We'll fish it in. And we'll get it started on the pump. I'm not filming anything because there is not much room at all. So the hose is installed. The brackets are tight. 2 flare nuts, one on the pump and one on the rack and pinion is also tight. So at this point, we'll fill the system with the fluid, run it, check for any leaks, and only after that install the sway bar back. We'll use the funnel to make the fill process a little bit easier. For the fluid, we use ATF plus 4, doesn't matter which make, as long as it's ATF plus 4, that's what Chrysler is recommending. So after you fill it initially and it's not going anymore, so we will start the engine, the pump will start pumping, and we will keep filling it up until it takes the fluid. So now we will just keep filling. So there will be lots of air, so we expect those bubbles to come out. Now we will also spin the steering wheel to the left, to the right, let it suck the fluid. You don't want to go all the way to the right or to the left until all the air comes out, so don't lock your steering wheel. So because there is lots and lots of foam right now, we'll just stop the engine and let it settle down, and then we'll start it again. So after letting it sit for an hour or so, running engine again, check the level, and it was still fine. So it took quite a small amount of fluid, just roughly half a liter of fluid, and that's approximately how much we drained too. So this is probably the smallest capacity I ever drained from the power steering system. Though seems like it's full, there is no more air. I checked for the leaks, no leaks. So I have attached the sway bar, so to the sway bar link on both sides, also the bracket, and that's pretty much it. That's how you change the fluid and replace the power steering hose on 2007 Dodge Nitro. Please like and subscribe. Please check my links to the parts and tools that will help my channel to grow. And as always, just do it yourself.